Hello, this is Alejandro Chaskielberg. I am in Argentina. It's a really pleasure to be here with you. Thank you guys for your presentation. And I will speak a little bit about my experience living in the mountains of Patagonia in a tiny house. I will share my presentation with you. Okay. So let's check if everything is working fine here. Let me see if you are you looking my screen when I share it? Okay. No, you don't see my. Let me share. Okay, okay. Wow. I think now yes. Okay. Let me know if when I put in full screen like this, are you seeing the screen? Do you see the mountains with the car? Yes? Okay, thank you. Yes, not on full screen. Okay. Hello, someone speaking in Spanish. Hola. Well, so I will go not in full screen as I'm afraid you will not see the presentation. So at the beginning of the year, I was traveling in Patagonia. I am a photographer. I do night photography. That's my specialty. I was traveling with my dog. So this is me doing some of the shoots. I was traveling with my daughter. I am a single father, so I raised my daughter since she was a baby. So she travels every time with me. Good. Light painting. Yes, I do light painting. Sorry, I cannot see. Let me see if I can go like this. Okay. So I can see the chat as well. Let me put this like this. Okay. So, well, this was in February, March. So, as you know, the borders around the world start to close. I was traveling and photographing in Patagonia. My daughter has to come back to Buenos Aires to start his classes. And we decided to not come back and stay living in this tiny house. This tiny house is it's very small. It's 10 feet by 15 feet. It's made with wood. You can see here the roof of the tiny house. It is located in a woodland of cypress. And the place is really fantastic. You will see why. Because it's very close to this labyrinth. It's a maze built by a family. I made a book about this maze a couple years ago. So I became friend of the family. So they invited me to stay during quarantine. And at the beginning, as everyone, I will stay there for just a couple of days. We were doing some camping before, so I had some hammocks, all the stuff. You can see the door. The door is it's not thin a lot. It's very well isolated. The house it house around 4 or 5 inches of glass wool between the wood. No, it's phenolic, like around a half of an inch inside and outside, and in the middle there is glass wool. But that's my dog. Um, this is the landscape around. There is no any house around, so basically you are in the middle of the nature. The tiny house inside is very quiet. You cannot hear any sound coming from outside, so it's like you are in a bubble, like in a music studio. You cannot hear anything from the outside, so it's a very magical experience being there in the woodland. Sorry, going down. And that's our friends, the sheep that came every day. So actually, this is my second experience living in tiny house. I made this a couple years ago. I made a book in the islands of a delta, very close to Buenos Aires. So the tiny house was almost similar in size like this one. So also this is my daughter. Oh, sorry. Okay. This is me trying making new friends. Well, this is a night shoot of the tiny house. This is a kind of images that I do. This image, it's a long time exposure. Perhaps someone knows about night photography. I basically use drones, and so I put two different kind of lights in the drone. One was a green light, and the other was a magenta. So it's random how you can paint the trees. You will see some trees are green, some are magenta, and colors in the middle. And that's my daughter. She loves leather jackets. It's a little bit punk, so she wanted to wear a jacket. You can see on the my Instagram. You need my Instagram. My Instagram. It's where you can see more of these images, and it for me what's great, because well, I photograph always in natural places. I don't get excited being in the city and photographing the city. So for me, it was a challenge to decide, well, staying in this tiny house, living with my daughter. As I told you, I raised my daughter by my own, so we have a very good and close relationship. But it was a challenge to live together in one room. Actually, it was 8 months that we spent together. So this is the interior of the house. When we came, the house was like this. We had a seat on the left, as you can see, and on the right it was a very small desk. Sorry. So this was a small desk where I work and where we had dinner and lunch. It was not very comfortable because every time I had to put the computer, I needed to clean everything. And as you know, living in tiny houses, you need to be very to put everything on its place, because in 1 minute everything became a chaos. So it was a challenge being with a 80 years old girl. So here you can see how it is constructed. The windows, it's phenolic. It's I think a half of an inch. Someone are asking about my Instagram. I already posted. You can see. this. My last name is my webpage on my Instagram. Someone is sharing there. So the construction of the tiny house was really fantastic. I really love having the wood being showed, not to cover with paint or anything, just to be like a natural wood. This is the upper part of the tiny house where we slept. On the right side of the image, there is my daughter. She started sleeping on this place that was mostly to put your luggage and everything. And I slept on the big bed. So, and this is the kitchen that was not originally designed in the house. So the owner, when she bought the house, she transformed it and put this part. They create that. We had a very old oven, but it worked very well. My daughter trying to open a can, and this is the bathroom. Everything was connected to electricity, so basically it worked with electricity, no solar panel. We have a pressure bomb, so basically the pressure of the tiny house was like being in a hotel, so it was fantastic. And it was very warm, very warm, even when it was I'm not sure in Fahrenheit, but in Celsius it's -4 degrees. I'm not sure how it's -4 degrees Celsius. Celsius, I think it's written like this. Inside the house, you can be without jacket, without anything, just with a t-shirt, and you were very well. So this is a window of the kitchen, and this is my daughter playing the guitar. So the months pass by. So in the southern hemisphere, it came the autumn. So you can see the trees. So it started to become very tough, the weather, and of course the mushrooms starts to grow. And it was amazing for us living in the city to see everywhere mushrooms growing all around us. So this is a Manita muscaria, very famous. So we start to collect these mushrooms because you can eat some of these mushrooms. Actually, they are amazing. We found around 20 different variations of mushrooms. So we start collecting. You can see the names. So some ones are named Cilius lacae or Lactarius deliciosus. So we became very fans of mushrooms, and we built these nets to put on the ceiling of the tiny house, just to dry them. It was so great because all the tiny houses smell like drying mushrooms. Sorry, I don't know why it came like here. Sorry, push something. Oh. Well, this is me inside of a apple tree trying. We were collecting apples, doing some cedar. Actually, Patagonia is fantastic. It's some apples, and we built this roof because it was very hard during autumn and winter, it rains every day. So we had around 40 days continuously raining all day. So we built this little roof. So when we go outside the house, it's easier to keep the house clean, because otherwise you get inside after coming right from the rain, and all the dust came with you. And then I built a floor there. As I was doing camping, I also had this canopy to protect me more with the rain. And it was hard being there, with my daughter, because the space was not comfortable. She was doing the school. She was doing, every day the connection with the school via Zoom. So it was not very comfortable for us at that moment. So I decided, this left part of the seat was not. The seat was very long, so I decided to use one part of the seat, and I built this tiny desktop inside the tiny house, and this chair. So Lara has all the the school stuff very close to her. How did I get the internet? The internet was really, really difficult to get, because you can have the most fast internet you can have there is 3 megabytes. So it's almost very difficult to do a Zoom. She was doing Zoom, but without with the camera off. We had a very powerful modem outside the house, because if you put that inside the house, the connection was not possible. And the modem connected to the restaurant of the labyrinth, that is around 500 meters, and the labyrinth, from that antenna, it went through another antenna around 1 kilometer. So for me, it was like magic to have internet in the tiny house. Then I built this long desk, as long as I can. So I can have my computer working all day, and it was simple to. Well, that's the setup of the house after doing these modifications. Someone is asking, where did I get the food? Well, basically there are some towns close by. The closest town is around 10 kilometers from the house, and it's a very small town. It's around 5,000 people living there, but most of the people live not in houses in the town, but on the outskirts of the town. So this is some of my drawings. So having this big table was good, even for playing cards, painting. Then I built a hammock, because my daughter is very active. You cannot see the hammock here. I would love if you can see that. Let me show you. Let me show you the video of the hammock, because cannot find it. Well, I cannot find it, but let me see if I can do play here. Okay. This is Lara. This is Lara in the hammock. So it was quite dangerous because it was in the middle of the house. So when she was in the hammock, she has to advise me, because when I was in the kitchen cooking, she was with the hammock. Her legs came inside the kitchen. Well, she did gymnastic all the time, and the chaos of the tiny house. And for my work was amazing because I was working in the woodland, just outside my house. This is me. What you can see there is it's a torch, because for me the fire this crazy year was like a metaphor. At some point I thought, no, we have to burn it all the past, all what we did bad. So I start building this torch, and this is the landscape right outside the house, and this is one of my photographs, using this torch, walking with this torch in my hand, and then adding some color lights to the trees. This is in another woodland. There were no risk of a wildfire because it was in the middle of winter, raining every day. So basically, it's almost impossible to start a fire there. But the fire was for me like, this is one of my Instagram stories, because I thought, well, what I did during this year was trying to express my feelings of this crazy year in my photographs. No? And then it came the winter time. So you see the tiny house in the winter, and of course doing this I call path of fires, in the winter. I need to show you this video because it's fantastic. For me, it was like magic. This is a day it was snowy a lot. The town is called El Ocho. I will write down the name of the town on the name of the labyrinth. The labyrinth, it's called Laberinto Patagonia. It means maze in Spanish, like it's Laberinto, and Patagonia. It's the biggest labyrinth in South America. So and here you can see where the arrow is where the tiny house was located, and there is a river very close to us. Oh, this is a labyrinth. It's a great place, and it was really good to be there also because it has some. The path was really good to go and go running. I do running. A photograph of my daughter, and this is some of the photographs that I do. This is a long time, like 15 minutes, long time exposure using colors, painting every tree with a different color. And I start drawing or writing words in the air. So this is a long time exposure. I put the camera in the tripod, and then in front of the camera with a torch, I start writing on the air. So I start writing these words and these that for me express a little bit about what I felt during this year. Like 98765 like it was coming a bomb or something like this, or a rocket launch. or megabyte, because I thought everyone now looking everything through the screens. I was sharing all this through my Instagram, so all my feelings were, well, I'm in the middle of the nature, but everyone is at their home, and we see all the nature through a screen. Conector, it's connected in Spanish, encrypted, reset. So everything is done with a torch in my hand. Shut down. And future in Spanish, futuro. Well, this is some snapshots of daily life, when she became 8 years old. This is family, my parents, when my parent became 89. So this is basically my family, and my girlfriend here in the bottom, that she has a lot of patience. She let me be there. And of course, some delicious food we made. This is mushrooms, a ramen. It was really good. A romantic dinner with my daughter in the tiny house. Riding a horse. So it was, well, this is fashion in Patagonia. You have to dress like this if you go there. So it was an amazing experience being in the middle of the woodlands. Even if the tiny house is so small, it was really comfortable. It was really warm. I think this was one of the years that I enjoyed most. It was the best decision to not came back to the city and to spend. And when you are there, you realize you just only need a good shower, a warm place, and then if you are in the middle of the woodland, you don't need too much space. You need to be very organized, but that's all. And I think what was one of the most fantastic places and the most fantastic years of my life. So I really, really enjoyed this experience. Well, I will check if there is some questions. We'll stop sharing the screen. Well, hello. Thank you very much for listening to me. I will say if there is any small house closer to stepping outdoors. Yes. Well, thank you very much. I invite you to keep going to the next speaker, that is Melanie Copeland. She will present. Her presentation is how Melanie made her tiny legal. So I'm looking forward to hear that. And muchas gracias a ustedes por escucharme. I will invite you. I will write down. That's the name of the town I was living. Laberinto Patagonia is the name of the place. They have their web page. And the good thing also is being there. Was allow me to create 8 seconds left. Okay. Goodbye. Thank you. Be in touch. Thank you very much.